Sunday morning, 8 o'clock, heading to the gym. Taking the last couple of days off from having to record. I've been dealing with a bit of depression, but it felt pretty good to just take a day off to kind of relax. Even though I've been really low on drive and motivation, it doesn't affect my nutrition, my training, my fitness. None of those habits have actually changed. It's just work productivity, which I'm actually going to work around. But we're going to be taking you through our push workout. We're doing chest, glutes, and calves. Weird combination, but it'll be a good workout.
First chest focus session back from my chest rehabilitation. I actually trained a bit of chest last week. That was actually my first real session. This is my first chest focus session. I went probably around 50% Thursday. I feel pretty sore today. So today's just about getting the blood flow. Just gonna choose the weights I know that I can easily do and then progressively build up because I'm still quite sore. But I'm actually very happy being pain-free for about 3 weeks now. So we're on track for a really good rehabilitation and contest prep. Training feels very good. Sunday morning, we tried to get a workout done early. We got a lot of work we did to catch up on. Well, at least yesterday, took some time off to kind of relax. We actually watched Top Gun Maverick yesterday. That was a sick movie. But it felt good to just kind of like relax. I feel like we really haven't had any time off properly for a very long time. Even when we went on holiday, we still work. It feels good to kind of not think about it for a day. And now we catch up on everything. So we have this microphone that you can see here that attaches to me as a magnet, and I just did the last exercise. I lost it, and we've been trying to find the magnet, and this is where it is. Also, what do you reckon of Hang's set? This is my opinion, and it actually might be quite controversial, but over the last 2 years, if I've learned anything, it's to have confidence in my own opinion. For the longest time, I've let people conform my ideas of what's right and wrong. First, I want to preface that I don't think I'm better than anyone. I just feel like there's a certain standard, a certain look that this federation is looking for, and it's not the look that I actually want to bring. And I want to be free to express myself in terms of the package that I bring, in terms of the posing, in terms of the physique. I see this sport as an expression of art, and it's an expression of yourself and what you want to bring to the table. I feel like bodybuilding or fitness, whatever it is, it's art. You're sculpting your body to present yourself in a certain way. And I feel like I know the judges are looking for a particular look. I see a common denominator with all the posing and what they're kind of looking for, but that's not the look that I actually want to bring. And if that gets me marked down, that gets me marked down. I feel like I don't want to conform myself. I want to bring something that I'm proud of, something that I enjoy, I like, that represents me and my expression of art. Just like how I create videos, how I create content, photos, videography, whatever it is. And I feel like this is what the sport needs. I feel like the sport needs more people that have their own opinions, have their own taste, and want to bring something unique and new to the table. This is what makes the sport competitive, and this is what makes people stand out. If you're coming out there on a stage with 10 other guys doing the exact same thing, bringing the same thing that everyone's looking for, one, you're not going to stand out, and two, you're just conforming to a standard of normality. That's no difference to people conforming their opinions of what life should be like, living a 9-to-5 job, buying a house, starting a family. You're going to be average. You set that standard. And I think people need to have confidence in themselves to bring what they want to the table. And I think that's what's really going to make the sport super exciting. I'm just currently editing the footage that you're watching at the moment. This is about a month ago. And 1 month ago, I actually went through a bit of depression. I want to preface before I get into this that I wouldn't say that I have clinical depression. So how I was able to handle this, I don't want that to be a representation of how everyone could handle it and how it's so simple. I'm just sharing with you what I went through, the feelings of depression that I encountered, and how I was able to overcome it. About a month and a half ago, things were getting really tough in terms of the business. Business was doing well, but in terms of we've had people needing to leave, they've moved on, and that's perfectly fine. And we needed to find someone to actually backfill that role. In 8 months, I had to go through 5 different people. They weren't compatible. But when you go through so many people for that particular role, moments of self-doubt start to seep in, and you start to think like, am I the common denominator? What's the problem here? Is it my leadership? Is it our processes? Is it our support? And it started to seep into how I was and my confidence. Things started to come crashing down. And I was thinking like last year we had a team of like 6 coaches. Now we're like trying to piece together like, am I doing the right thing? What's wrong? Because in other aspects of my life, I failed in many things. When I was younger, I used to play a game called Counter-Strike, and we used to have a team, and I was actually the leader of that team. And just like with everything, it didn't work out. People ended up leaving, and it was my reflection of who I was as a leader. I wasn't a very good leader. I didn't understand what it meant to be a leader until just a few years ago. I've made this adjustment interpersonally, but however, when things like this happen, there are moments of self-doubt, and it was just really overwhelming. We've gone through a lot this year. For example, my Instagram was disabled back in March, and I've had to rebuild. That was tough. We've had all our coaches leave. That was tough as well, but we learned a lot. I feel like I learned more about being an entrepreneur and a business owner and a director this year than I did last year, despite our revenue being less than last year. This one day, it was a Thursday, I just felt like I had to let someone go because they weren't performing. And they're very pleasant to work with. They're very kind, intelligent, but just wasn't what we needed. And it just added more stress to me having them in the business rather than actually letting go. I learned something with my mentorship called management debt. And it's if someone isn't performing or at the level that you need it, you have to be able to let them go. You try to hold on thinking that it's gonna work out, you're gonna waste a lot of time. It's just like a relationship. If you guys identify red flags at the start, end it before it gets worse, before you drag it out, then there's emotional attachment, then you don't. And then, so I had to let this person go. And the whole recruitment process is very overwhelming. And I was so bogged down of like content creation and everything. And just this one day, I had this overwhelming feeling of depression where I couldn't even function. I wasn't able to be productive. I couldn't work. I wanted to be, but I just couldn't think. The thoughts of doubt just kept circling in my mind. That was actually a Thursday. The hang actually normally hangs out with her mum. And so I was just at home by myself. I felt the loneliest I ever felt. No fault of hers, by the way. She hangs out with her mum and I told her to go hang out with her mum. But I was just by myself that day. I was trying to get myself to be productive, but I wasn't. And I was just on social media. I was just browsing and I didn't know how to feel. Friday came, I was able to work a little bit, but I still wasn't able to be productive. And then Saturday came, so this is the third day that it's affected me. And on Saturday, I just let myself feel what I needed to feel. And I just gave myself a break. I actually haven't had a break in like 2 years. Even when we traveled, we still worked. Went to Hamilton Island with Sundays, we still worked. We went to Bali for the trip, got engaged, still worked. And we don't really take weekends off. So that day I just told myself, you know what? I'm just not gonna think about work. Work is right now the source of how I'm feeling. And so I took that day off. I just allowed myself to just hang out. On Apple TV, we rented Top Gun Maverick and we watched it. It was an awesome movie, such a feel-good movie. It really boosted up my mood. And then on Sunday, and that's the footage that you saw. We woke up early on a Sunday morning, go to the gym. It was around 7 o'clock. And I just told myself, no matter how shitty things feel or are, I am going to just get work done and I'm gonna suffer while getting work done if need be, because I cannot let this become 3 days, 4 days, 4 weeks, 4 months. I have too many people that rely on me. I have my parents who believe in me. I have Hang who believes in me, quit a job to come work with me. We have a team of coaches who also quit their jobs to come work with me. We've got hundreds of clients. There was no way that I was gonna give up. I just needed to figure out how to get through this. And I just needed one day to kind of let myself feel what I needed to feel, get it out of my system, and then get back to work. And then Sunday was the start of this productive momentum swing where we started walking in the morning, went to the gym. We were like such great momentum on a Sunday. It was 8 o'clock, we finished training. Let's go for a walk. We went for a walk, went home, had one of the most productive days, which has led us to carrying so much momentum throughout the whole month of October. And then now here we are, and last episode we told you we just invested a very big amount of money into all this guidance and additions to the team. We've generated all this momentum. We went from one of my lowest troughs to one of the highest peaks right now. And the feeling of adrenaline that you get when you overcome this, I can't explain to you guys how crazy it actually feels to actually endure and just have that belief in yourself. No matter how shitty things are, you just tell yourself things will be okay. I will endure. I just need to get through this. So give yourself some time to feel what you need to feel and then get shit done. I just told myself, like, no matter how shit it is, I just need to get shit done. I need to get through this. And the analogy that I like to think of is, imagine that you're stuck in a desert, Sahara Desert, whatever desert it is, and you're in the middle of nowhere. You're stranded in the middle of nowhere. You're on the verge of like passing out, dying. What choice do you have? It's binary. You either lay there and die, or no matter how shitty the conditions are, you keep walking and you keep trying to get through until someone can save you. You can find civilization, whatever it is. I see our business like that. I either give up and fail or I move forward. It's binary. And I just pick that option and I just go through with it. I don't complicate it with complexities. I'm human and sometimes there are feelings of self-doubt, feelings of depression, feelings of anxiety that kind of seep through. But you know what? Regardless of how we feel, the distance needs to be traveled, and that's the distance that I traveled.